Good morning, wanderers. And I'm back up in this area again with all these little spots up here by the lake. I really like this area. There's different stuff you can see every time I come up here. Um, Flowers are already fading quickly. Okay, well, today's going to be kind of a long one, I think. It'll probably go for 15 or more minutes. I don't know. I'm just going to talk. I'm struggling right now. And like I keep telling you guys, you are gonna get what I get. I'm not editing my videos. I'm not doing any of that. I'm just being real and raw. And I'm pretty sure I've told you guys that I'm a parent a couple times over, actually. I'm a grandparent. I'm a pretty crappy one. My grandkids don't even know who I am, really, probably. I don't even know. I don't even know if they know who I am. That's how crappy of a grandparent I am. I hardly know them at all. Actually, a bunch of them I don't even know. There's two of them that I met when they were very small infants, basically. One was a little older when I met her. But I haven't even spoken to my kids on that end. The kids that made me grandparent. I haven't even spoken to them in years. Like literal years. And I'm struggling with my daughter. My newest family, so to speak. I'm wanting to try to help her develop a mental mindset that is positive, that is about abundance, that is about success and canceling fear, so to speak, in regards to life's approach. Because I grew up in a very religious environment. It was a strict one that may not have been teaching me to believe what I was believing, but is kind of a base for why I developed the mindset I have. And that is that we should fear God and fear God's wrath, because the Seventh-day Adventist Church, which I was raised in, kind of preaches on that note. And the context of the Old Testament is displayed as God's wrath with his people. It's not until Jesus that we see the love. Well, it kind of impacted the way I am as a parent, I'm pretty sure. Because God the Father, right? Well, if God's angry because the people are sinning, going against him, so he smites them, so he, strengthens them to be able to kill thousands of people that are doing wrong. Like the story of Samson, for example. Oh, you sinned against me because you disobeyed me and let somebody cut your hair. But you know what? You're repentant. You're asking my forgiveness and asking for my help. So you know what? I will make you strong one last time so that you can tear this palace down around these people, killing them and yourself. But that is my love for you, and that is my forgiveness of your being mad at me, of going against what I told you to do. Kill yourself and all these people, and I'll give you the strength to do that. What the hell? What kind of a story is that? You know, about a father's love. Like, oh yeah, okay, so, you know, here, drop this 2,000-ton stone on top of your head because, you know, I'll help you lift it. But it's going to fall on your head because I forgive you. So, have a nice death. What is up with that shit? Oh, yeah, well, can't do that one. Like I said, it's my passion. It's my raw self that I'm sharing with you. And it frustrates me that I hold the kind of beliefs that make me afraid of God. Because it makes you want to fight against that. It makes you want to say, you know what? I'm not afraid of you. I'm going to do stuff in spite of you. I'm going to be better in spite of you. Your anger and fear is not what's going to make me better. I'm better than that. That's what that creates. And as a God-loving person, now in my older age and figuring out life a little bit more, I ain't nowhere near figuring it out to where it's right, but it has occurred to me that the Old Testament that I was shown, or that I perceived at the time I was being shown it, is not an accurate interpretation of what was going on. I still have the question, and I don't think that'll ever go away. I kind of have a thought about the answer, but again, it's one of those things where, you know, you just won't ever know. I don't think I'd even understand it once I'm in heaven, so to speak. But that question is always the one that plagues me and comes up in my brain when I don't want it to. And that is the age-old question of, if God is so loving and so caring, and God knows all that ever was and all that ever will be, why did he create people that he knew were going to sin against him? That he knew were going to create a world of death and pain and destruction. Why would he do that if he's all loving and all caring? Well, the answer that I kind of come up with for that is kind of the same thing that applies to me. I've told my partners from the very first one to this one, why would I want to bring a child into this world of evil and anger and hate and death and destruction? Why would I want to do that? I mean, you know, you have to ask yourself, we were made in God's image. You know, okay? We were made in, you know, after his likeness. All right? So it doesn't necessarily mean that we look like God. It just simply means that after his likeness, which can mean after his thoughts, after his, whatever, after, I shouldn't say his or hers or any of that, it's after God's thoughts. So, did I know that if I had a child, at some point that child would break my rules? That at some point that child is going to look me in the eye and say, I hate you? That at some point that child is going to want nothing to do with me? Did it change how much love and how much pride and how much amazement I felt when that child was born? Nope. It didn't lessen that at all. It didn't lower that feeling at all. Because I knew I was going to do my best to help that child have an amazing life and experience an amazing world. So, when we ask that question of why would God do that, turn around and ask yourself the same question. Why did I do that? Because we also have God's eternal optimism, God's eternal hope, God's eternal faith that it will come out right in the end. That we will do the best we can. And I think that's what God's doing, the best He can. If we go by that, and we understand, then we can do the same for Him that He does for us. But the way we forgive God is to say, I'm so sorry. That's how we forgive God. We say we're sorry. That's how I forgive my daughter a lot of times too. I hope that she gets it, because when I get upset with something and I'm telling her, why did you do that? You know better than that. Why would you do that? And she says, I don't know. And I say, oh, baby, I'm so sorry. I'm sorry I'm so frustrated. I'm sorry I'm so broken. I'm sorry I'm so confused. I'm sorry I'm so hurt. I'm sorry I'm so human. We are speaking to God's child when we do that. Our child is God's child. We are speaking to God indirectly through that child. So when we forgive God for what we live in the world that we have altered into this, the way we forgive God for creating us and giving us this opportunity and giving us this chance to do our best and be our best, is we say, I'm sorry I'm not my best. I'm sorry I'm not what you saw that I could be. We long for that from our children because we want them to be the best that they can be. We want them to grow up and make the world a better place, a kinder place, a gentler place, a more fair and just place. This is what we long for as parents. This is what we strive for. This is what our heart's desire is. We know they're going to go against the rules. We know they're going to screw up. But we do it anyway. And yet we long for them to say, I'm sorry, Dad. I'm sorry I didn't do that better. I'm sorry I struggled at that. I'm sorry. We want to hear that. Well, if God is our Father, guess what He wants to hear? He wants to hear, I'm sorry. So be sorry. Be sorry and mean it. And be grateful that you're able to be sorry. Be grateful that you can experience that emotion of, I'm sorry. That's what you want to experience. Because it frees you. Because not only are you forgiving God when you say, I'm sorry, you're forgiving yourself. You're acknowledging that I didn't do my best. I wasn't at my best. I'm sorry. I don't know where I'm going to place this video in my channel. I know it's going to possibly upset a lot of people, possibly offend some people, everything else. I know that. And guess what? I'm sorry. I really am. Because I'm a father. And I want my child to live in a world that doesn't make mistakes. I want my child to live in a world that is just, that is fair, that is pleasurable, that is beautiful. Not a world of hate, anger, separation. That's not the world I want. It's not the world I wanted to create. But yet, here's the world that's around us. And us as adults, us as the parents, us as the politicians, us as the powers that be, we are responsible for this world that we are bringing our children into. If we don't help them break free of our pattern, it will just keep going. It will never change. Until God comes back and says, I've given you chances. My patience has expired. It's time to do the right thing. It's time to fix it. I don't want to be part of the problem that gets fixed. I want to be part of the solution that survives. I love all you guys. I'm a parent, it's my job. I have to love everybody. But it also gives me a better understanding of how could an all-loving, all-knowing God create this? He didn't. He created an opportunity for us to grow, for us to explore, for us to live. We created this. We created the sin. We created the struggles, the problems. We created the world we currently live in. It's time to say I'm sorry. And not just to our children and their children, but to our Father. It's time to say I'm sorry, God. I'm sorry I'm not doing the best. Please help me do better. All right, wanderers. Love you all.